Come on. All right, we are live here, and we have special guest Todd from Swisher Apparel. Hello, Todd. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And of course, we got the normal guys. We got Anox, we got First 508th Airborne, we got Dubs Hat Hub. I'm just curious. We're going to go ahead and start it off here, and we're just wanting to know what everybody's where's everybody watching from tonight. And we already got quite a few chats here. Okay, let's see what we got here. The tax guy is here. We got the tax guy here. There's quite a few already in here. We got Ohio in the house. So let's go ahead and show that one there. New Hampshire. That's up near your way.
Yeah.
All right, so Todd, I got a few questions for you there. I'm going to go ahead and start it off with some questions.
Yes, sir.
The first one I have is, at what moment did you know that Swisher Apparel had to make its name into the game and had to enter the game?
So when we were back when the Scally Cap Mafia was pretty early on in the it had just been formed, and did I just lose you guys?
You're there. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
All right, hold on one second. Am I back?
There. Nope, not yet. No, you're totally left here now. Well, as soon as you rejoin, I'll add you back to it. So we're gonna kill some time here.
He pressed something.
there he is. He's back.
My bad. Yeah, I had something come up on my phone and it pulled me somewhere else. Yeah, so back in the early days of Scally Cap Mafia, kind of everybody was excited about, like finding other people that were also excited about these caps and everything. And, I think a lot of us all came in on the Boston Scally train. Holy moly. And then, then we found like Hannah hats and, a lot of the other European brands and everything. And I started like just kind of grabbing what is going on here? So I just, I started grabbing hats from all these other places, Hannah and, Glen Apin and all of that. And, so I started building my own collection. And I had a lot of people asking me like, oh, where'd you get this? Where'd you get that one? And then kind of got to the point where a lot of people started saying, like, well, what are you selling all these other companies' hats for? Like, why don't you should start your own company? And, at the time I didn't know anything about any of it. So I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But I didn't really give it too much thought. And then, we kind of started making, Swisher Apparel t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. And it just kind of grew from there. So, it just sort of came about naturally. One of those things, you get, which is, now up to, I don't know, probably anywhere between 15 and 20,000 people, I guess, between the different groups combined. Obviously, there's more than that if you count each group collectively. But there's a lot of crossover in all the groups. So I'm saying probably somewhere between 15 and 20,000 people. But, it was one of those things that came about just from people, kind of spitting out the idea. And then it just sort of took shape and took off from there. And then we managed to find a couple of manufacturers to start making them for us. And that's where it really kind of took off. So, because
that leads up to the next question, like from the idea of a cap to production, how long does that usually take? We're really trying to streamline that now to be able to put out more caps a little more often. We don't quite want to get into the, every week BSC type of drop. We just, we want people to like have a minute to breathe and, enjoy that last cap that they just got. But we are trying to get to,
steadily at least once a month, maybe every, 3 weeks, occasionally every other week, that sort of thing. But to answer your question, it's, we get a lot of different fabric samples, and, once we find something we kind of like, and we're like, we're looking at the swatches and whatever, and, kind of trying to visualize it as a full cap. We say, yeah, we're going to do that one. For instance, we literally just decided on a new fabric today. That cap should be coming around in like 7 or 8 weeks. So manufacturing turnaround is usually like six, maybe 7 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks, depending on, depending on shipping and things like that. But realistically, like, once we decide on a fabric, on a certain swatch or whatever, something we want to put out, usually 8 weeks tops, I would say, by the time we have it in and turned around. There are some variables or whatever that affect that a little bit, but more or less 6 to 8 weeks.
All right, and
long answer.
I'll tell you what. When you said that,
I wanted to know how that worked.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy.
And when you said you didn't want something every other week, I agree with that 100%, because I believe it gets watered down. And you end up running out of ideas, or you just whatever. I totally respect that answer a lot, because that is I think that hurts some other companies when they just mass produce, release. And I mean, you might catch your hot streak, but after that, you're just going to be. I agree. Yeah. So next question I have though is, what separates Swisher from other cat brands?
That's a tough one, really. I think you're seeing more and more of the personalized touch with all of us smaller companies, really. Everybody's kind of like understanding that the customer base really likes that, the ability to connect with the company owners, the ability to just kind of, shoot the shit with them sometimes. Listen, I'm not saying anything about any of my customers, but I swear some of you guys, you're just like, hey, what's going on? which is cool. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of the cool part of it. It makes it a little less, certainly not corporate. It's more like you want to know where your money's going, and like, it's not just about selling caps and things like that. It's kind of it's kind of a little bit of a give and take there too. Like,
it's kind of interesting that you started out as just like one of us, and then you decided to start doing that. So I was just real interested in hearing how that went. I found that pretty interesting. Just a couple of people suggested it to you, and you ran with it, and now you got something. That's pretty cool.
Right. And it's, because I've been asked that question a lot. When we're at different events and things like that, people are like, oh, how'd you get into this? And I'm like, it's a long story, but it's, I don't know. It just sort of happened. And it really is about the people that, that want the caps and that buy the caps and that appreciate the caps. Because that's how we got started, was literally like, at the time, I think it was, a few hundred people collectively in the Mafia group. And then it just kind of, that exploded quickly.
Delay there.
Oh,
there you go. You're good now.
Yeah. Got me. Yeah. So it's definitely, and I've had people like come meet me in person and stuff, and they're like, oh man, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And I'm like, trust me, it's not like you're meeting like a mogul of some entertainment it's literally just me. So it's still just me. And that's, when you say, you started out as one of us, I still am. And that's,
well, except you have your own hat company now.
yeah, yeah, right. But
and then my next question is, in 5 years, as a success type story, where do you see Swisher? Are you hoping to see Swisher?
Well, right now, so this is this I joke all the time about, like, this company being worth tens and tens of dollars. I've made tens and tens of dollars off of it. And obviously it's turning over a lot more than that, but we're constantly reinvesting, like, most of our profits still. So eventually, yeah, in 3 to 5 years, I'd like to see this be more of and it's actually something we've been discussing recently. I don't know if I want to call it necessarily like a full-time gig, but it's got to be more. I've got to be able to do more with it regularly. Like, it's not going to have to, it's growing into more than just a side hustle right now. So it's kind of getting to the point where I can't keep up with it as a side hustle. So as it continues to grow and the orders continue to become more and more steady and in higher volumes like they are, I can see it turning into more of a full-time job, really. I hate to use the word job because it's not really a job, but sort of along those lines, because, like, with the recent drops, I'm working 40, 50 hours a week at my normal job, and then I'm coming home and I'm working, 5 or 6 more hours at night, packing up orders, trying to get them ready for the next day. And that's, with our Black Friday sale and the November rain drop, it was like 3 straight weeks of, 4 or 5 days a week I was doing that. And it's, that's what you've got to do, right, to build something like this. So, I understand that, but at the same time, like, in the spring when I'm coaching baseball, in the summer when I'm coaching baseball, I don't necessarily have the evening time as much. So we're kind of weighing options and looking at different ways to incorporate certain things to make it a full-time business. So that way, like, I can really be, I guess, even more involved in it. Because that as it is right now, like, throughout the day, and I work for my, I have my own painting company as well. So, I'm kind of working for myself twice over there. So during the
you
day,
do like residential painting?
What's that?
Like residential painting?
Yeah, exactly. So, when I'm getting messages and stuff during the day, I'm able to answer a lot of those. Sometimes when I'm, like right now is a kind of a hairy time because, I've got Thanksgiving deadline that turned into a Christmas deadline, and it's like, so it's kind of balls to the wall there. But for the most part, during the day, like, if people have questions and stuff like that, I'm usually able to answer those. But it'll be nice to, just be, essentially packing and shipping orders during the day. And, I can kind of focus a little bit more on that. And then I think, so realistically, that's what we're looking to build, is kind of just keep building keep building the clientele base, keep building the profitability of it, I guess. And, just keep moving forward and growing a little bit, but at the same time, not like, I don't want to get so big to the point where we're sourcing out a bunch of stuff either, because that then you get more into it's just a hat company and it's not really.
Yeah.
You
hit the nail on the head there. And
yeah.
I'm sure these guys here, when you open a box from Swisher Apparel and the cap's already steamed, ready for you to go. I mean, that's
Right.
something you're not going to get from where you get too big. And
yeah, exactly. When you start
so
paying, when you start paying warehouse people to just I mean, they're just doing their job, and their job entails getting as many hats and boxes as possible and getting them out the door. Which I understand, I mean, I always juggle with that too. Like, I do understand, when people order their hats, they want them as quickly as possible. But at the same time, like, you got to take a little bit of time and make sure they're presentable and things of that nature.
So we're going to go round table here now. Go ahead and answer some questions there. I'll start with you, Anox. What question you got for him?
Sure. Are we gonna do the hats and then baseball at another time? Or we're gonna do both.
We'll do the hat. We'll do the hat side here now.
All
We'll
right.
do baseball here in a little bit.
Yeah. So from the hat perspective, I'm wearing the backstop right now, right?
Yeah.
And this actually, I think, was the first one that you pulled me in with. It was the first Swisher I got, and it was because of like the baseball thing. But then after that, I started getting other hats, and I started really liking those Gatsby cuts. The cut on that Gatsby, where it's like a gangster look without the puffiness.
Yes.
And you can't really find a cap like that anywhere else. So that's when and then when I started seeing how heavy and good the caps came in, there's like a weight to the cap. And then, just the care taking, the steaming, the pre-steaming, the personal, touch and all that. That's what really got me involved. I even got the matching shirt, the baseball shirt.
Yes, sir.
So my question would be, when you released the backstop, you said the first in a series of baseball caps. Is that true? Is there going to be another baseball cap release?
Yeah. So we're the ballpark series, right? So
The ballpark series.
yeah, we're planning on 3, 4, 5 of them, something along those lines. More or less in that 6-panel, scally, traditional scally kind of cap, the duck bills, and we want to get more of that mesh, that racer mesh fabric. That's a little tougher to find different prints. Like it was mostly just solid colors and whatever. So we'll probably put out 3 or 4 solid color type of combinations, some sort of combination kind of like that backstop. I don't know if we'll do like full solid 6-panel and then maybe like a contrasting underbrim, kind of something along those lines, and probably several different colors. I think that was more or less the way we were leaning with those. Or possibly just the same as that backstop, where it's kind of the gray back, the gray on the back 4 panels, and then the contrasting front 2 panels. Yeah. But
it definitely breathes well in the summer when I'm at my son's games and stuff. So it works with the baseball.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were pretty happy with the way those came out. I wasn't sure how the shape was going to hold, being the lighter weight fabric, but those hold their shape pretty well. So
yeah.
All right, Chad, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, I just recently came across your site. I'm not part of any of the Facebook groups, so I didn't know about you until just recently. You got a lot of hats on your site. I like there was what I was wondering was if you don't have a hat in a certain size, do you end up getting more of those hats in, or are they gone and then you just replace them with another hat?
Yes, a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have some that we probably won't bring back in. They were kind of one and done runs. And then we have others that we're working on. So basically we switched our Gatsby cut, right? We went from it was a little bit, still had a little bit of poof to it, and we switched it to the new one like Ant was talking about. That's it's just it's a little leaner, a little bit meaner, I think. So we're getting a lot of people asking about like the Old Guard, the Evergreen, the Crest. I mean, a lot of those have sold out in the smaller sizes recently.
The Evergreen was one I was interested in, and then so is like the Apache driving cap, and then the other kind of tan driving cap you had with the the flexor color.
Yeah, those we will probably restock at some point. Both of those driving caps.
Yeah, I thought those are nice looking caps.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that Evergreen too.
Yeah, so here's the thing with some of those original. So there were like 6 original movies. A few of those we definitely want to recreate in the new cut. So it's a matter of just getting that fabric and having them remade. The issue sometimes is we're putting in these orders and getting these caps made and everything, and it's like the reorders are. We want to make sure we're restocking as much stuff as we can, but sometimes it's because basically every size we have like a minimum order quantity of 50 pieces.
Sure.
If we're out of like 2 or 3 sizes, then you're basically putting in a brand new order for a cap you've already released, and it's like when you re-release those or you drop those, you're maybe not selling quite as many or getting quite the same hit as if you release something brand new. So yes, again, long answer or short answer long. We are looking at restocking, like the Evergreen's a popular one, Crest. The Old Guard, we're looking at doing something a little bit different. It may not be that same fabric, but something very similar. Essentially calling it a New Guard. But
do you think you'll release any more of those driving caps in any other colors or styles, or?
Well, that style kind of that is that is more or less the style. Different fabrics on that. I would see those coming in, at some point too. Maybe
Cool.
Maybe a lighter weight version as well. But it's certain companies though, certain manufacturers are tough to. It's tough to get them to expand their fabric production, I guess. So, they have what they have. You can get those made, but there are already other cap companies out there that have that specific, cap or whatever. So we kind of try to stay away from that as much as possible. But it's definitely something we'll be working on. And it's one of those things where again, it takes a little bit of planning ahead to try to kind of make say you're doing one restocking that like the Evergreen. So we want to bring that back in, but we also want to drop 3 or 4 other caps in that same. So it takes a little bit of extra planning, but again, that's one of those things with the growth. We're starting to get there. Like it's, I mean, obviously money comes into play. Being able to afford, buying 100, 150 pieces of one you've already dropped, because you gotta. Like the thing about that is when you do a restock on something like that, it's not going to sell as well as something that's brand new. So you got to kind of anticipate that, and you got to kind of be willing to absorb a little bit of that. And we're getting to that point where I think we can more easily absorb some of that. Not every drop has to sell a certain amount to be able to continue going forward. We're building up a little bit of space for things like that. So where we can kind of start adding some of those restocks in.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry. That's again, short answer long, but it's been one of those days.
Yeah.
Your turn, Dub. What do we got, buddy?
Yeah. For somebody that that's new to Swisher, new to the hat game, what would you recommend personally, that they check out on your website, man?
Um, I, I mean, personal preference is
Yeah.
huge. Um, I love the new Gatsby's, like, and we only have two of them right now, but we do actually have a third one on the way to us now. That's our next drop after this Blackthorn.
Yeah.
And then we actually, like I said, we
That's
just
an awesome cat, by the way. I like it.
this one here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so this one obviously is a nice one. But as far as like the actual, like, which cut, which style,
Yeah.
yeah, I love the new Gatsby. Like, and I know we had some, like, you know we have a really big fan base that loves the old Gatsby too, and I do, and I get that, like, but the new Gatsby, just, I don't know, like Ant said earlier, it's just like you put it on and it's like it makes you feel like, I don't know. You guys ever seen that movie Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've joked about this before. Like, when Achilles is putting his helmet on, like, that's what it feels like when you put one of those on. In my
I
opinion,
agree with that for
yeah,
sure. It has that wow factor.
Well,
yeah, exactly. You just
and one
you
more,
feel it.
man. I was going to ask, aside from your own stuff, what are you rocking from other companies, man? Like, what are you into besides Swisher?
A lot of Sturkowski, and obviously we had a few caps made for us by them.
Yeah.
But yeah, some Sturkowski, Hannah. I love Hannah hats. They're probably, I haven't tried everything out there. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of different companies and stuff that make them, but Hannah's some of the best that I've come across. Scalawags.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
Scalawags Heritage,
Scalawags make
yeah.
some nice stuff.
I like them. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. Gurin Brothers. Excuse me, Gurin Brothers is I mean, they're pricey,
Yeah.
and they don't really do as much in
They
the
do the
Scally
trucker
cap.
hats. They do the trucker caps too, don't
Yeah,
they?
they're
Like,
kind of getting
yeah.
more into the truckers, and the fedoras
Yeah.
is their big thing, right?
Yeah.
But the cut and sewn, different 8 panels, different, they've still have a few on their website, I think. They are, they're like $100 caps or whatever, but they're pretty sweet. I do like the Gurins.
All right, cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Was the Warsaw made by Sturkowski?
Warsaw was Sturkowski,
Warsaw.
and the Ranger.
Okay. I was gonna say those resemble Sturkowski caps. Now I know why.
Yeah.
Do they do flat caps too, or is it kind of like the Newsboy?
Who's that? Gurin or
Sturkowski?
Sturkowski? They have some flat caps. Yeah. They have one called the Norte. I think I believe Norte. That's a pretty sweet cut, and that's like a
Nice.
kind of a single panel.
Yeah.
And it actually comes with you can get it. I think it comes in, I think it comes in two different variations. You can get it with or without the ear flaps, because I've got one of those with the ear flaps that fold down. And man, yeah, that's actually my that's like my every morning coffee cap, where I'm sitting here drinking my coffee and waiting for the dog to tell me it's time to go outside. I'm pretty much always wearing that. So
yeah, cool, man.
Yeah.
And you guys have any more questions for me before we go to the ones in the chat?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question we got in the chat is from Florence Homestead 2960. What lightweight summer cap do you recommend of your brand?
Of us, the backstop is probably our lightest weight one. It's like a racer mesh, an athletic mesh that breathes really well. This summer we'll be putting out more of those, and then the Ranger Shelby is that's a very. I was actually surprised how lightweight that one was. It's like it's a British Millerin wax cotton. And usually with wax cotton, you kind of get some, usually those are pretty heavy fabric wise. But I was actually, this British Millerin wax cotton, like it's really lightweight and breathable, as well as water repellent. So, but yeah, right now, the backstop is probably our most breathable cap. It's being a type of mesh, and well, we're looking at putting out probably at least 3 or 4 more of those this summer. So
Sweet.
yeah.
And then I had another question that was on here. I don't know if this affected you or not, but are tariffs affecting your products? I'm not sure if they even are or
not. Yeah, more or less. Particularly, for instance, like the Sturkowski made hats that they did for us. The extra shipping duties on those kind of put it to the point where we were sort of like, I don't know, either we have to charge a lot more, or which, I mean, you're seeing that they're running into the same issue now, like whereas before I think it was like $70 or $80, now it's up near 130 or 140 or something like that. And most of that is the import duties, but yeah, so that kind of put us off of that. Plus, and the other thing too was, again, like they have great fabrics, their Harris tweeds and everything, but like they already, so the Warsaw, we were able to do that because they use that fabric for other caps. They didn't have it in their Shelby. So when I started talking with them about it, like that was a fabric we specifically wanted to do, something that they didn't already have, they didn't already offer. They didn't really want to get into, I just, again, we kind of try to stay away from that as much as possible. But and it's the same with their with the Shelby, the Ranger, that they have other Shelbys in other colors of that wax cotton, but they didn't have that specific color. So that was a big part of why we went with that one as well. But so their fabrics, like, I mean, and they're not really looking to expand their fabrics to, not from a private labeling standpoint. They're not looking to make other people's caps in a bunch of different fabrics. So they're a little bit different of a manufacturer because they're manufacturing their own brand. So when they're adding a new fabric, they're kind of like, this is a new cap for us.
Yeah.
So for us to get them to get new fabric, that'd be a little difficult to do, I think. But yeah, so it's weird when it comes down to some of that stuff. It's well, and the other thing too, like with manufacturers that we've run into, because we've had a lot of discussions with different manufacturers, and just trying to get them to do anything with different shapes, like different cuts of the caps. You get shut down a lot. Certain manufacturers, they put out what they put out, and that's all they want to do, or that's all they're, maybe that's all they're set up to do. I don't know what the backstory on all that is, but I know, like for the new Gatsby, that was, we found a certain manufacturer. We said, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. Like we want to take what we've got now, and we want to kind of condense it in and, make it a little, I don't want to say bulky, but, a little more sturdy, I guess. And, so they worked with us on the shape, and not many manufacturers are willing to do that. So that was kind of cool, but
yeah.
I got another question from this is one guy that we'll be having on our next episode. Skydog Reviews wants to know, are you having any 5 panels?
So yeah, I could definitely see being something we would get into. Because like when it comes to the flat caps, I actually, like the traditional flat caps, the Ivy style, I guess is what I would call them. But I actually prefer the 5 panels because it sits a little deeper in the back. It's like single panel up front, the 8 panel in the, you got those 4 panels in the back. They sit more like an 8 panel back there. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Now there are different styles of 5 panel caps as well. I've seen 5 panel caps look more like a scally, the duckbill too. I don't know if we would go that route on it. But like, a single panel up front and then four panels in the back, I could see us doing a 5 panel like that. Yeah.
And then the last question we got from the viewers. This is the guy that we had on last week. Ed the tax guy. Any plans for the Gatsby crest in any other colors or patterns?
Well, I mean, the crest really is like that. That is its own. That's basically its fabric. That's what it is. So, in a manner of speaking, yes, we won't call it the crest. We'll call it something else. But yeah, so, and I don't want to give away too much here, but I was talking earlier about the fabric we literally just green lighted today. That's a houndstooth type of, it's like a miniature houndstooth type of fabric. So yeah, kind of like it's a different color. It's got obviously different colors, but again, we won't call that the crest because the crest is that one fabric. Like that's just sort of the nickname for it. This will be in a new, the new Gatsby cut. So, but eventually we'd like to take that same crest fabric and get that into the new Gatsby cut as well. Same with like the evergreen we were talking about earlier.
That's going to be my next purchase, man, the crest. So I've been having my eyes on it for a while.
We still got it in your size?
62.
Oh yeah. So we're pretty stocked up on all of them in like the XLs and the double XLs. For some reason, like the 55s, 57s, 59s, or the 56s, 58s, those sell out ridiculously fast. It's I mean, it must
common
be
head size,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Those guys that are over 61, those are just just God blessed them with a bigger brain. Whether or not they use it or not, that's a whole other story. But yeah,
well,
I was
it's
always
funny.
told that you use 10% of your brain, and they might use more than 10, but some of them probably don't. So
when we
before we get to good,
yeah. Oh no! So when we first started selling caps, like I was constantly getting questions from big-headed people, like, "Hey, how come you don't sell anything above XL? Like you need bigger caps. You need bigger caps." So we started adding the 63s, right? When we started doing our own brand, and I mean, we sell enough of them, I guess, but nowhere near like the smaller sizes. Like we need more big-headed people.
yeah. All right.
That's one of the reasons why. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Good, Dub. Good.
That was one of the reasons that kind of attracted me to like you and even Boston Scally is because you can't really find big hats anywhere. Really like Amazon, places like that, they don't exist really. So
yeah, a lot of companies don't, and I get it because pretty much most manufacturers you run into, there's minimum order quantities.
Exactly.
Either on per size or order in general. I've seen some that have like that's like in order to it's 200 minimum order on any given size, and I'm like that's insane. Like
it is insane.
You'd be sitting on those forever unless you have the customer base of like Boston Scally or something like that. I mean, they're maybe makes sense for them, but
Yeah.
All right, now before we get to the next portion of the chat here, we are giving away 2 caps tonight. We are giving away a medium of the Swisher Apparel Blue Jay, and then we got a 60, I believe it's a 61 centimeter of the Old Guard. And we will do a pick a number between 1 and 20 later on in the chat, and whoever picks those right numbers, you'll be the winner. So we're going to give away those tonight. And now we're going to get to a little more of away from the whole Scally cap thing. And we got some sports questions. Now, I know, Todd, you are a huge baseball person. I myself am one. And I know Anox is one. And I know Chad, not so much. But Dub has went to a game back when Dale Murphy played. So I guess the first thing I want to ask is, like, there's actually 3 parts to this question. I want 4 parts. First of all, Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion, does Pete Rose belong in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
There we go. I agree. Next one.
I mean,
what up? Go ahead.
Yeah, just numbers wise, like if you blanked out his name and you put his numbers up, I think 100 out of 100 people say yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see how you can keep him out just for the betting stuff, but then you have some of these other guys that are known for doing steroids in there. I mean, it doesn't seem too fair.
Well,
I know a little bit about the older stuff.
Yeah. Does Roger Clemens belong in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. What about Barry Bonds?
Yes. And I know the steroid part of it. It's funny, we were actually having this conversation at work earlier today. I know the steroid part of it taints it for a lot of people. I mean, Barry Bonds was largely considered the best player in the game for a decade, when he was in Pittsburgh, before all the steroid stuff kind of came into play. Roger Clemens, arguably one of the better pitchers in all of baseball, same thing. And then, like, when people start talking about, well, they did steroids, well, I get that. And I don't condone it by any stretch, but 90% of the league was doing steroids, and these guys were still above, they were head and shoulders above the rest of the crowd, so with steroids or without steroids, they were still the better players in the game. I mean, if you're talking about comparing their career numbers to other people's career numbers, okay, then I can kind of understand that. But I mean, Barry Bonds likely still hits 500 home runs, and probably, amasses more Gold Gloves if he doesn't start doing steroids. Clemens, obviously, I guess without actually being able to say when, I think Clemens, when he went to the Yankees, when he started doing steroids, but.
Well, at that time of baseball, though, baseball was dead until the home run era. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. And then you had players like Rafael Palmeiro, Brady Anderson, who did more than 20 home runs a year, hits over 50 one year. I mean, common sense tells you what's good. It wasn't the baseball. It was what they were just, it is what it is. But baseball needed that shot.
Let's not leave Big Poppy. Let's not give him a break. His head was this big. Come on.
No, he just ate well his entire career.
Yeah. And then my last one I got, this is way before our time, but Shoeless Joe Jackson, should he be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
The thing is with him, he was blackballed. There was never evidence that he averaged, I think it was like 380 in the World Series.
Right, that's what I'm saying. His numbers don't look like somebody that was trying to throw the World Series.
Right, yeah.
I mean, whether or not he took money to do it, who knows? But I definitely don't think he was. I definitely don't think he was trying to lose any of those games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that was. I don't know what the baseball heads were thinking back then, but just a head scratcher that he was even involved. I mean, but that was like before our time. And my last question on the baseball thing is, and also people in the chat before we go to everybody else who has questions, your top 3 baseball movies.
Ooh. Field of Dreams, to go with the shoeless Joe Jackson. I love Major League, the first one. Oh man. For Love of the Game was good. Probably would have been better with Dennis Quaid, but Bull Durham was awesome too, though. I mean, there've been a lot of like really good ones. I'm sure I'm missing some, but
yeah, I don't even think I could name 3. I would have ended up saying something like Sandlot.
Oh, that's a classic. I'll be honest with you. Sandlot definitely belongs on the list. Yeah, it's there's some good ones. I'm sure there's some older ones too that I'm not even, what's the one with Robert Redford?
The Natural. That's my
Natural.
Top 3.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, gotta have that on there.
Yeah. For me, I would have said The Natural.
Yeah.
Sandlot, and what was the other one I was thinking of? The greatest game ever played with what was his name? I pitched for the Tigers in the movie. I'm trying to think what it was.
For Love of the Game. Yeah. Kevin Costner.
Yeah, that was a great one too. Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's the one I was saying would have been better with Dennis Quaid.
Oh, yep. Yeah, Bad News Bears. There we go.
That's a joke I heard somewhere. I don't know, like Kevin Costner's the B version of Dennis Quaid or something.
Yo, if you guys haven't seen The Hill's one that came out a couple of years ago. It's a newer one. Great movie. It's like in that same vein as those older ones.
Huh. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. It doesn't sound familiar. I don't think I've seen it, but
yeah, The Hill. It's about, I forget his name, Ricky something, and it's a true story about how he was like crippled and he made the major leagues.
Oh yeah.
No, I have seen that actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's like he gets in trouble for breaking the dude's windshield or whatever.
Yeah, the truck's windshield. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I did see that. That is really good.
Yeah, we got another one here. Little Big League, Angels in the Outfield. We got
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Field of Dreams.
And the Rookie.
Obviously. Yeah,
the Rookie. And the Rookie, yeah.
Oh, the Rookie, yeah. What was the one that they had with the guys from India that they came over and pitched for
$1 Million Arm?
Yeah, $1 Million.
Oh, I never heard of that. Were they cricket playing?
No.
What's that?
Were they cricket playing
one time?
Yeah, they brought in so basically it was, the scouting operation. They're basically saying like they've over scouted everywhere. So they decide to go to India where there's, billions of people, whatever. And it's an untapped market, blah, 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 blah. And so they go do a scouting thing there, and they find these 2 guys that, they're cricket players that they think they can turn into major league pitchers. It's good. It's really good.
I gotta see that.
Yeah.
And then the other one that came out with Jim, the guy was a physical education teacher that ended up pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, the Rookie.
That's the Rookie.
That's what it was, Rookie.
Yeah. See, Dennis Quaid. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, when he throws the baseball and then he walks away, and you see that the car radar actually read it at 90 something. He didn't even know it.
Lights up. Yeah, he's all discouraged because it only lights up 77.
Yeah, and
I'll tell you, I'm probably older than he was at that point now, but I would have been happy with 77 at that point.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, yeah. I think it was like late 30s, early 40s or something like that. That's
probably
crazy.
Yeah, he was up there. He was I want to say like 36, 37 or something like that.
Yeah.
In real life during that movie or whatever.
We got Trouble with the Curve coming up here. We got Moneyball.
Oh, Trouble with the Curve.
Mentioned Bad News Bears too.
Yeah, Bad News Bears.
Moneyball.
I knew there was
because I was showing the whole athletic side of everything and how many teams adapted to that after that. It was, I know the Tigers did it for a little bit, but now they went back to spending money. I guess it looks like they're going to start spending money this year.
What was that? Moneyball, did you say?
Oh yeah, Moneyball. The way
Yep.
With the athletics, what was his name?
Billy Bean?
Billy Bean. Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Bean. Yeah, that was a good one too.
All right.
I knew
what kind of questions you got for baseball?
God, you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I got a two-parter about baseball. One is I coached baseball for 8-9 years, travel and rec. And my son's 15 now, so he's going into his second year of JV baseball. He's got aspirations of playing in college. He doesn't care where, D3, D, whatever.
Yeah.
He just wants to play. So my first part of my question is, what was your biggest challenge as a coach over the years? For me, it wasn't the players or the parents. It was the fellow coaches that I coached with, because on the too many Chiefs, not enough Indians sort of thing. And then the other thing is, so what was your biggest challenge as a coach and the other thing is your son going to play college ball? If so, do you have any advice on the whole process of that?
Yeah. So my biggest challenge, I would say, throughout, because I've been coaching my oldest two boys since they were, T-ball all the way up through. And the biggest challenge I think I'd say I've really run into is separating the dad from the coach part of it. Sometimes you go harder at your own kids to kind of prove a point, I don't know about prove a point, but to set a tone. And, it's unfair, but it is what it is. Like, because there are, and everybody's like, oh, the coach's kid gets away with everything. Nah, coach's kids don't get away with shit. Coach's kids get it worse than anything.
Actually, I changed my answer. That is the biggest challenge, right?
Yeah, coach's kids are hearing it all day long at home. No matter, I don't care how good you are about separating stuff. It's tough to let certain things go. But so that's probably the biggest thing I've struggled with, which I'm actually really looking forward to this spring, because this will be the first team I've ever coached without any of my boys on it.
Nice.
So I'm actually pretty psyched about that. But so as far as college ball, my middle son he's doing a post-grad year right now at an academy here. And he just committed to Dean College, actually, in Franklin, Mass. And so next fall, I guess next late summer into the next fall, he'll be looking at starting there. As far as advice on it,
Nice to work with the Derby injury.
You just gotta. It's hard to know when to push. When to push too hard and when to kind of back off sometimes, I guess. Because quite frankly, like, if they ever get to the point where it's like not that important to them, you have to kind of let go of it too. It's one of those things where, if you know they really want it and they want to keep going and they're just having a lazy day, then you got to kind of put a little boot to ass and get them moving. But if it's one of those things where a couple of days turns into a couple of weeks, just sort of lackadaisical about the effort they're putting in, maybe it's not their dream anymore. So it's
funny, because I used to push him when he was younger, and I thought that same thing. Am I just doing this myself? Then all of a sudden it became his thing. He's obsessed with it, and now he's pushing me. Like, come on, get up. We got to go do something. You got to go pitch to me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm tired, but it's definitely switched to become his thing. He wants to go out in the wintertime at night. I'm like, dude, like,
Yeah.
So what Todd was saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes that's the other thing too, is like, sometimes you have to kind of pull the reins back on them a little bit. Like, hey, you gotta, rest is important too.
Yep.
But
and the recruiting game is I mean, they're like leeches.
It's cutthroat.
Yeah, my nephew, he got recruited to play baseball at Coastal Carolina, and he ended up he decided to play football instead. I guess it was the right call for him because I'm headed to Dallas this Saturday coming up for his national championship for Division II. He plays for Harding University.
Oh,
And
nice.
so I'll be going there this Saturday. But I mean, just the recruiting side, and he was going through the COVID year, so he had to compete with
Oh man.
people that are getting that fifth year, and it was just kind of like a setback. So but his love for baseball, I mean, he's great at baseball, but he just didn't love it. So I hear you there. It's like you can't make them do anything, especially just because you want them to doesn't mean they're going to do it.
Absolutely.
Chad, do you have any questions on that side for the baseball side, bud?
No, not on the baseball stuff. I don't follow it that much these days.
All right, Dub.
If Dale Murphy was still
So
playing,
did you get to watch Dale Murphy, man? Did you ever see Dale Murphy play?
Is there any questions in the chat on the baseball side? Let's see if we got anybody coming here with chats. There was another question here that I have since we got a little bit of time to spend here. If you could sit in the front row at any baseball game in the history of baseball, which would it be?
Oh my God.
It's got to be. You're a Red Sox fan, right?
Yeah.
Got to be Game 7, 04 versus the Yankees when the curse was broken.
Yeah, right. I mean that any one of those last 4 games in that series would have been great.
Games, yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I'm a pitcher. At heart, I love seeing good pitching games. So I don't know. To be honest with you, like in the late 80s, early 90s, any game between when Clemens and Dave Stewart were pitching against each other, I would have loved those.
Dave Stewart, I'm seeing his face right now, and you just said that.
Yeah, right.
Dave Stewart.
He was intimidating.
Yeah, he was a badass.
There's a question in the chat from Jay Leary 6. What do you think about the Red Sox lack of moves?
How about the Yankees? We ain't done shit.
Right?
Re-signed Trent Grisham. That was it. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see them, as far as the Sox, I would definitely like to see them get another right-handed bat. If it's Bregman, get him back in. And I do think Bregman fits our team right now really well. I would like another right-handed power bat in addition to him. I don't know if that's Sterling Marte or, they're talking, there's some rumors going around pretty good about him. Another frontline starter I would like to see. I mean, the Red Sox, it's frustrating because you hear all these rumors about, they're interested in this guy, they're in on that guy, and they don't ever pull the trigger on any of those guys. So it sometimes can be hard in the off season, but it is what it is. I don't know. I love our young core though. We have a lot of really good young players coming up, and some more that are knocking on the door. So I do like how they're forecasting that, saying, well, we think we've got a competitive team in house, but you still need to add a few more pieces to really be a contender.
Yeah. There's a pitcher for the Red Sox now. Who was my neighbor when he was at Wichita State, Peyton Tolley.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, he lived 2 doors down from us here in Wichita. Yeah,
really?
no doubt. WSU.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
a big boy. He's a big
right?
boy.
I love watching him come up and throw, and I think he's got to figure some stuff out for the secondary stuff if he wants to be a starter. But as far as in the bullpen, he's got some pretty nasty stuff. So that fastball's got some giddy up.
Yeah. I had Brad the Bearded Piper. He put a comment. Game 7 of 1960 World Series.
Brad's got to mention that one too. You got to take a shot at me with that one.
Hit a walk-off home run. Yeah.
Think Mickey Mantle will watch that one go out.
Let's see here. We got any other ones here on here before we start wrapping up here? Sox don't spend no money. Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, they're definitely freezing their bank account.
Fenway's a
Yeah.
tourist attraction. I was just at Fenway. It is a nice little spot, man. I miss the old Yankee Stadium, I gotta say.
Right. Yeah, it's
Well,
kind of like
last time I was at Fenway, they totally redid the left field. There wasn't the seats up there back last time I was there.
Before they added the monster seats. Yeah, just the big netting up there.
Yeah, that had to be what, 20
That's
years
way
ago?
back.
Oh, yeah, at least 20, 25. Yeah, I can't even remember, to be honest with you.
All right. Now, before we go ahead and do these giveaways, do any of you guys have any other questions for Todd for Swisher Apparel?
Yeah, is my mom gonna get that hat before Christmas? She ordered it for me.
What's
I'm
this
a 58.
one here?
I'm a 58. Yeah, that one there.
Unfortunately, so I didn't want to spill the beans on which two sizes didn't come in. It is the smaller two sizes that didn't come in.
Not
But
a big
like
deal.
I said,
I'm gonna see you on New Year's. So
nah, it should be. I mean, it should usually, like, sometimes when the orders are split into two boxes, like I'll get one box one day and then the other box the next day or something like that. So I'm hoping it'll show up tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll get them out quick. But
All right, Chad, any other questions for him?
No, it's just good to meet you.
yeah, thank you. Same.
Same here, man.
Appreciate you guys having me on. It's a good time.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
All day. He just not said that. The Blackthorn looks really great. Yeah, I myself
It
have the
does.
November rain on. Yeah, that's a great cap. And let's go ahead and get to these giveaways. We'll start off with the Old Guard. This is a 61 centimeter. And I believe we have quite a few people in the chat. I don't think everybody in the chat has 61 centimeter size heads. So we'll just do 1 to 10. Go ahead and put your numbers 1 to 10 in the chat. And we'll have Todd pick a number because he can't see the chat. And once we get enough guesses in there, I'll have Todd release that number. And then whoever is closest will get that the Old Guard.
All right. You let me know when it's go time.
All right. So far, we probably got about 3 more people to answer. 1, 2, 3. One more. We need one more. All right. We got enough. All right. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Let's go 7.
And you froze. What was the number you picked? You froze.
7.
What was the number?
7.
What was the? All right, Steve's Hobbies. Congratulations, bud. I don't know if you're on Facebook or not. If you are on Facebook, send me a message with your information so I can get this mailed to you. This is the Old Guard by Swisher Apparel. And then the next one we have is the Blue Jay.
Congrats, Steve.
And this one is a size medium. Todd, what are the centimeters for size medium, bud?
55 to 57.
57 to 58 or so.
Okay. So this is a 57 through 58 millimeter cap. This one here, I think we're going to have a few more people viewing that are in that number. So we're going to go 1 to 15. From 1 to 15 on the side, pick a number between 1 and 15. And I'll let you know when. We got quite a few more to go here. Oh. We get some double answers here.
That's a nice cap, though. I don't know. I gotta get around.
The Blue Jay that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a soft cotton, like a ring spun cotton or something along those lines, maybe like a brushed cotton.
Right. It looks soft when I
yeah.
All right,
I'd like to get
good. I think we're good to go. Go ahead and pick a number to 1 to 15.
11.
You broke up again. What was the number?
Oh, 11.
11. Who we got? Make sure we
We
don't
got
have
one.
double 11. It'll be the first one that had the number 11 on here. And that is Gypsy and Vanilla Gorilla.
Oh, congrats, brother.
All right.
All right. So that is who. And I'm not sure if you have Facebook or not as well, but if you could send me a message, either under Reviews of Moose or Mark Janik, and I'll make sure I get that information from you. And sweet. All right. So again, we want to thank Todd for joining the show today. Thank you, Todd, for myself. And any other last comments at all from you?
No, just again, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was good to shoot the shit a little bit and talk caps, talk some baseball. Anybody watching that has other questions that maybe we didn't get to tonight or whatever, I mean, shoot me a message on the Messenger or whatever. I tend to get back to everybody. Sometimes different time zones and everything like that. I may not get back to you right away, but eventually I answer everybody eventually. So
awesome.
Well, yeah, nice
Well,
meeting
we
you.
really
Thanks for
appreciate you.
coming on.
yeah.
Thanks a lot,
And then
man.
for
Appreciate it,
Thanks,
man.
guys. Appreciate it.
No problem, Todd. And then for all of our viewers, our next episode is on the 30th, where we have the original OG reviewer, Skydog Reviews, is going to be joining us.
Nice.
And again, thanks for everybody tuning in. We wrapped this thing up in just a little over an hour, and we probably could have went on about baseball for another 2 or 3. But yeah,
Oh, you know it.
but everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. And sayonara.
Let's go.
Cool.